Hello, my name is Olivia. I am the editorial copywriter. I joined Viva Tech in March of 2022, and I am from Cleveland, Ohio, United States. As an editorial copywriter, I get to tell Viva Tech's story and report on the top tech trends going on in France and around the world. I get to write articles on a huge range of topics, from NFTs, Web3, all the way to what's happening on the Africa tech startup scene. And even though I'm part of the marketing team, I'm pretty transversal. So I work with all the teams, working on their content, kind of spice it up a little bit. Even though Viva Tech is based in Paris, it's a very international event. So I get to work with startups from not just in France, but all over the world, and startups that come from a lot of different backgrounds. So I actually applied for Viva Tech through Welcome to the Jungle. I was planning on moving to Paris, and I was applying for jobs here. And once I saw Viva Tech's page, I knew I had to apply. I've been interested in startups and innovation and kind of how technology can bring positive change for the world. And when I saw there's this event that was centered literally around the startup ecosystem in Europe, I knew it'd be something super interesting. So one of my favorite success stories from Viva Tech is from a startup called HD Rain. So they're a meteorological startup that forecasts weather through AI. And the really cool part about them is they actually started their startup because of Viva Tech. So they were a group of students. They came to Viva Tech at the very first edition, and they had an idea, and so they pitched it to one of the speakers. And the speaker gave them kind of a proposition that if they come back the next year with a startup, then they can talk. And so they ended up founding their startup. They came back the next year and actually been back for every single Viva Tech edition. And now 6 years later, they've raised 2 million euros in funding. They've expanded to 5 countries and have grown their team immensely. And so it's kind of cool to be the person that unearths these stories to see what Viva Tech has actually brought to these startups. I would describe my first Viva Tech as exhilarating. It was amazing that finally, everything that we've been working on the last couple of months had come together. Not just what I had been working on, but what the entire team had been working on together, and it came together to make this one huge, crazy event. A bit exhausting as well, just because running all over the place for 4 days. Me specifically, I was interviewing startups, so I was going from one startup to the other in the entire hall, and so had to be everywhere at once. But it was really cool at the end of the day to say that I was part of this wonderful event. If you want to join a crazy and international team, come join Viva Tech.